My name is Dennis Robertson, and I am a recovering alcoholic and drug addict. This is the story of how God saved me from addiction. My journey with addiction started when I was about 15 years old. My friends and I would have a drink or two occasionally. I don't even remember how we got the alcohol at this time. Got it somehow, I don't know. That went on for a couple years till I was about 17 or 18. Then I started drinking more frequently. By the time I turned 21, I was drinking heavy every weekend. And after a few years, it was every weekend and a few times during the week. This continued till I was about 30 years old. Soon after that, I was drinking pretty much every chance I got. I would stop at the bar almost every day after work, and that became normal to me. It all became normal to me. Drinking every day was just what I did. Fast forward a few years to 2007, my ex-wife and I were separated at this time, and I started experimenting with powdered cocaine, which eventually turned into crack. And by 2009, I was completely addicted. I would lie, cheat, and steal from anyone that would let me, just to feed my addiction. I knew what I was doing was wrong, but I couldn't help it. I had to do whatever I could to feed my addiction, no matter who I hurt. Romans 7:14 through 20 says, "We know that the law is spiritual, but I am unspiritual, sold as a slave to sin. I do not understand what I do, for what I want to do, I do not do. But what I hate to do, I do. And if I do what I do not want to do, I agree that the law is good. As it is no longer I myself who do it, but it is sin living in me. For I know that good itself does not dwell in me, that it is in my sinful nature. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. For I do not do the good I want to do, but the evil I do not want to do. This I keep on doing. Now, if I do what I do not want to do, it is no longer I who do it, but it is the sin living in me that does it." That describes addiction perfectly. Lost my spot. Okay. I just want to give you an example of the power of addiction. In the spring of 2009, I had lost everything. I had no job, no car. My parents didn't like me. My daughter wanted nothing to do with me. The people that I thought were my friends wanted nothing to do with me because I had no money, so I couldn't buy alcohol or drugs anymore. My electricity had been shut off, my gas had been shut off, and I was about to be evicted from the house I was renting because I hadn't paid rent. I had lost everything and everybody. But one day I was lying on my couch, staring at the ceiling, and all I could think about was, how am I going to get high today? That's the power of addiction. It was the power is just unbelievable. I did end up getting evicted, and my parents ended up letting me live with them. In September of 2009, I met Rebecca, and we ended up getting married in February of 2010. I still don't know why she married me in the shape I was in, but she did. By this time, I had kicked the drugs, but I was drinking heavy every day. I just couldn't stop. Then on June 9th, 2010, I was out drinking all day. I came home that night, got out of my truck, went inside, and Rebecca was sitting at the table. I sat down and looked at her, and I said, "I need help. I don't want to drink anymore." Mind you, I had not once thought about saying that to her that day. not when I got home, not when I walked into the house, and not when I sat at the table. It just came out of my mouth. Little did I know that she was going to tell me I had to get help or I had to leave, but I beat her to it. She already had the phone number of a rehab center. The next day, June 10th, I went into rehab. But I drank on the way to rehab, so June 11th, 2010 is my sobriety date. But how did all this happen? I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop for my parents, I couldn't stop for my daughter, and I couldn't stop for my wife. So what made me ask for help? It was God. God reached down and pulled me from the grip of addiction, from the grip of the devil. The freedom I felt was unbelievable. The weight that was crushing me was gone. I was finally free, and it was God that gave me that freedom. My life changed forever. I was a different person, and I was so thankful for it, and I still am. I started seeing God at work all around me. My life was finally coming together. I ended up meeting Bob Martin at an AA meeting. He introduced me to Joe Williams. And in 2014, we moved to Flushing, and we started attending church here. I could go on and on about how God has worked in my life after that day. I'm just going to kind of go off script here for a second. So I believe that God guides us through life, the decisions we make. And that determines where we end up. And through all the decisions that I made, I ended up meeting Rebecca and marrying Rebecca. Had I not done that, had I not met her, I don't know that I would have got sober. Can't say that for sure. But had I not met Rebecca, I wouldn't have Lillian, who's back there, my daughter. Had I not met Rebecca and I wouldn't have got sober, I wouldn't have met Bob Martin. Had I not met Bob Martin, I wouldn't have met Joe Williams. And Joe gave me something back as well that I lost, which was music. When I met Joe, he asked me to form a band with him. I had not played in quite a while. That was important to my sobriety, having him ask that. I was about a year sober at that point. So we formed it. We formed a band and played in the Undercroft down here for an open mic night, which Joe thought was a good idea to do for recovering alcoholics that didn't want to play in the bars. Didn't go over real good, but we had a lot of fun. Not a lot of people came, but... And then he asked me to form 150, which I said, okay. And through doing that, I met Bruce and Nikki and Autumn, who have became, like Autumn said, they're not just my friends, they are my family. I love each and every one of them, and they've all been supporters of mine the whole time. That's what God has done for me. In closing, I'd like to leave you with this message. No matter how deep the darkness may seem, there is always hope. God's love and grace are powerful enough to break the chains of addiction and bring healing to even the most broken souls. If you or someone you know is struggling, I encourage you to reach out, to seek help, and trust in the power of faith. Thank you for listening, and may God bless you all.